All of us passengers on our small group journey with Tauck, a United States Tour Operators Association member, had traveled up to Churchill with one big white thing on our brains: polar bears. Our journey coincided with the yearly migration of polar bears across the Hudson Bay, where they spend their winter hunting and replenishing their food stores out on the ice. And we were headed out to the tundra to see if we could see those beautiful land predators in the wild.
This time of the year, in wintertime, fall, winter, we provide large, comfortable four-wheel drive vehicles that crawl across the tundra. That's why we call them Arctic crawlers. And they take people, our guests, to places where we know that polar bears frequent.
We were warm and comfortable in the crawler, scanning the white horizon for glimpses of the polar bears' black noses. And it didn't take long before we spied one. First bear sighting! Just seeing the bears walk and move in the wild was transfixing. And lucky for us, these polar bears were just as curious about us. They made their way directly over to our Arctic crawler. This isn't a zoo. There are no fences. We just happened to be in the right place and at the right time. And these polar bears came inches from us, paws on the edge of the viewing platform. We weren't just watching the polar bears, we were interacting with them.
We just had the most incredible experience with a polar bear. He came right up to our buggy, got up on his hind legs, stuck his snout inside. He hung out with us for like 30 minutes. We were within inches of him. I can't even describe the feeling. You just have to put this on your bucket list. It's incredible.
It's wonderful to see different cultures and to travel, in 4 or 5 star luxury. But if you've always wanted to see polar bears, this is probably the only place on the planet that you can really come and interact with them and see them in their natural habitat. This may not be our biggest volume tour, but in terms of emotional power, it's way up there.
Seeing bears in the natural environment is really something really special. It's just how big they are, how silent they are, how they move.
The day with the polar bears, unforgettable.
Until you see them in the wild, you see how big they are, and you see their paws are bigger than a pie plate, and they're standing up against the Arctic crawler, and they're looking in the window at you, and you begin to realize, this is a completely different animal than you anticipated.
It's so unique to be able to see that kind of a wild predator in their own environment up close, in a safe situation. It's pretty unique.
Though the polar bears were the focus of our trip, I was very impressed with the dog sledding experience. Wapaska Adventures hosted our Tauck group for a morning of dog sledding. I learned so much about the training that goes into these intelligent dogs, as well as the history of this cultural sport.
Well, in the old days, the Métis people used dog sledding to get around with in the wintertime. There was no snowmobiles or anything back then, and dogs were the mainstay of traveling.
I've always wanted to do this. We're about to go dog sledding out into the forest. This is such a local experience up here in the Churchill. I can't wait. Let's go!
Each of us then had a chance to head out on the wooden dog sled for a mile loop through the forest.
Our sleds are designed that you get a real dog sledding experience. Like you get a chance to be a dog musher and to ride comfortably sitting up in our specially designed sleds.
The ride was exhilarating, but also peaceful, and we glided along almost silently through the snowy trails that the dogs knew so well. It was pure Arctic magic.